Welcome to Panther Pourri, the podcast where we're supposed to talk Panthers hockey, but sometimes we don't. Here are your hosts, Alex Lopez, Jake Langsam, and TJ Peterson.
All right, good afternoon, everyone, or good morning if you're listening to this in the morning. We got another episode of Panther Pourri for you. Joining us tonight is Jacob Langsam, TJ Peterson, your normal host, and special guest, friend of the show from the Dan Le Batard show, one of the producers who does everything now because he's now the executive producer of Montgomery and Company, Roy Bellamy. How you doing tonight, Roy?
Tired.
All right.
I feel that.
Says the single guy who gets to play video games while he works. You don't know what tired is, Jacob.
I played 0 video games during work today, as I always do, employer.
Yeah, I don't know what Alex is talking about. This
Yeah,
is
why are you trying to
slander.
blow that man's spot
I played
up?
about half an hour of FIFA during lunch. I was actually working for the rest of the day. I even had to work late today. It was weird, man.
Yeah, actually, I can confirm that Jacob works on the weekends for fun. So you're welcome, employer.
That's better.
But yeah, as another professional start from this podcast, as you guys know, the Panthers are Eastern Conference regular season champs. Do you want me to restart, Jacob?
No.
No one at this workplace is listening to this.
The Panthers have clinched the best record in the regular season. However, that is not the story anymore.
The Eastern Conference.
I'm sorry, Eastern Conference. What did I say?
You just said the best regular season record. And,
I said
that's
Eastern.
all encompassing. East.
Yeah. Yes. Eastern Conference. They're still 4 points up on Colorado as of this recording, but Colorado has yet to play the Blues tonight. But the story isn't that the Panthers have the best record in the Eastern Conference. The story isn't that they are the most prolific offense in almost 20 years. They just have to pass the Pittsburgh Penguins to have the best offense in like 40 years. That's not the story. The story isn't the fact that they give up, they're like 12th in the NHL in goals against. The story is they've lost 2 in a row to Tampa, 8-4, and tonight 4-2 to the Boston Bruins.
Fire Burnett.
Fire Burnett. Barkov is a fraud. Huberdeau is a fraud. Bobrovsky and Knight are terrible. Like,
It's all Ekblad's fault for getting hurt.
Yeah, seriously.
But yeah, this is a team that looks like tonight. It looks tonight that they are done in terms of caring about the regular season. Why are we happy, Jacob?
Jason Robertson
Okay, so the start
ties the game for Dallas, America's team.
Yes, we've got Stars versus Vegas to end Vegas's playoff hopes, which is they've got to be the surprise of the NHL season, right? The fact that they are on the bubble or on the outside looking into the playoffs.
I would say the
Pacific
Islanders
is
finishing
garbage.
20 points out is a bigger surprise.
I disagree because
Maybe the distance is surprising, but like the Islanders missing the playoffs is not surprising in the
I wouldn't
Metropolitan
disagree with
Division
that.
this year.
We're
Vegas
also
in
seconds
this
away.
year's Pacific has no excuse, especially after trading for Jack Eichel. Like,
I also want to mention that we're seconds away from the Heat advancing to the second round, which if they don't, I will have just severely jinxed it. But watch this space. Anyway.
But yeah, it's kind of funny how quickly people are ready to turn on the Panthers. Your co-hosts Mike Ryan and Chris Cody were doing it on Monday when after that loss to Tampa, that the bubble guts was starting to set in already. Like, oh, I don't know, Tampa scares me, and it's like they were playing the second night of a back-to-back, and I know Tampa was too, but those sludge games, like anything can happen in them. And you just immediately throw the tape, whether it's good or bad. Like you don't follow them. Tonight obviously wasn't a sludge game, but it was the third game in 4 nights, and it was not a great effort from the Panthers.
I mean, it's like I said, you could tell, just like last year when the Panthers were going in those last 2 games of the regular season, like they were these super meaningful measuring stick games and the Lightning were just going through the motions. The opposite was happening this year. The Panthers had the better of the regular season series, 2 regulation wins, just barely an overtime loss. And they didn't have anything to play for. They already knew they were going to be playing the lowest Eastern Conference seed. the President's Trophy, you know, it's kind of a nice thing to put on your mantle, but let's be honest, it doesn't really mean a whole lot. We don't think it's a curse. I think that we've established that on the last episode, but it's just not particularly meaningful. But the Lightning, you know, they had been playing really poorly right up until that like 2-game stretch before the Panthers game. And then, you know, they had another good performance again tonight. I'm not necessarily changing my opinion on them as kind of a busted flush this year. They were going balls to the wall in that game. They wanted the statement win, and the Panthers didn't need it. So the Panthers, you know, despite the late hijinks at the end, you could kind of tell that it meant less to them.
Well, you mentioned Mike and Chris. I wasn't there on Monday, so I wasn't able to either defend the team or give an opinion on that. I didn't really get a chance to give an opinion on Tuesday, but I mean, if you look at the Panthers right now, and they kind of proved it with their starting lineups the past 2 games, they're just trying out line combinations, and sooner or later this week they're probably calling up some players from the minors to get some NHL time in. Like right now, it's just about getting the time in, getting out without getting hurt, and it's very understandable. You got to go in there healthy. You got to go into the playoffs healthy. And the big thing about this is you're going to have Aaron Ekblad back for the playoffs. So there's that too.
Yeah, and I just want to point out, speaking of going into the postseason healthy, if you take a look at the ice time from the game against Boston tonight, it's kind of all over the place. It's pretty evenly spread out, first of all, but Sasha Barkov across all situations, usually top 2 or 3 in time on ice for the Panthers, not counting goalies, obviously. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Barkov was 9th in all situations time on ice against Boston tonight. Like they're very clearly Andrew Burnett is very clearly trying to shelter some of the star players prior to the playoffs to make sure that these guys don't do anything stupid to themselves before round 1.
Yeah, and I mean, you're talking about health. I mean, tonight's a perfect example. You had Anton Lundell and Radko Gudas both leave the game in the second period. They did not come back. We don't know if it was precautionary or we don't know if that they're injured. Hopefully it's just precautionary and you don't even need to sit them the last 2 games of the season, but you do essentially have a week until the first playoff game. The expectation is game 1 is going to be Tuesday. Is that correct?
We're unsure if it's Monday or Tuesday.
Okay, well, hopefully Tuesday for my sake. But either way, like, health is the most important thing in the world. And now that McDavid has opened up a pretty substantial lead in the Art Ross, it's 7 points with both players having 2 games left. Like, that's McDavid's. It's not even worth putting Huberdeau out there hoping he can put together a 6-point night. Like, you've got a back-to-back to finish the season. There shouldn't be anyone in your top 6 that is in that back-to-back if you can avoid it. Like, you know, even start Jonas Johansson one of the games just so you're not having Spencer Knight and Sergei Bobrovsky do both of them. And, you know, just because obviously it's topical and you guys are going to be just surprised to hear this, that he have just beaten the Atlanta Hawks. So gentlemen sweep 4-1. Thanks for playing Trae Young. But health is important for this Panthers team. Hopefully Lundell and Gudas aren't that injured and it's just precautionary. But yeah, I think the only milestone they have to play for is getting Barkov to 40. Is that it?
Yeah, pretty much.
And I would get why they want that. They would, you know, you're not going to sit everyone for both games, but you're going to sit up them for one or the other. It's Ottawa and Montreal to finish the year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ottawa, then Montreal. Like, you play one night and then go and then flip the other and, you know, get Cole Schwint up in NHL for a second game. Yeah. There we go.
Nah, sit everybody. Everybody.
I think Barkov in particular, don't send him to Canada. Like, I'm not sure what the border restrictions are, but like, I know it's a very, very minute chance, but like, it would be such a disaster if Barkov caught COVID in Canada and then wouldn't be able to come back to the States for the start of the playoffs. And I know that that's not particularly likely, but like, why would you take the chance? There's no reason to take the chance.
For 40 goals.
Barkov doesn't care. He doesn't even celebrate his own goals that much.
He doesn't get empty net goals. He
passes up an empty net goals. He doesn't care.
You know, that's a good point.
And Barkov, like I don't say Uyghur and I don't say Huberto for the particular reason that they haven't missed a game this year. So they're like actively working on, games played streaks. And
Huberto, that's a hard trophy situation.
Yeah, Huberto could potentially get to like 120. Be in like the top 100 NHL seasons of all time. I would have to check how high he would have to get to like, be that high or somewhere around there. But Barkov is not really in that same conversation. And look at what happened to Ekblad in Anaheim. That was pretty much a meaningless game. Also, like if you could have sat him in that game retroactively, there's 100%. No doubt that you would do it. So, I just think it's difficult to bench literally everybody because you're limited in the amount of guys you can call up past the trade deadline. But, Barkov in particular, like there's no reason to send him to Canada. Like keep him in the States, make sure he doesn't get injured, make sure he doesn't get stuck in Canada with COVID, wrap him in bubble wrap, basically.
I mean, that's an interesting way to look at that. Yeah, I didn't even really think about that part of it.
Because COVID is on the rise. Like it's coming back and people are getting it again. I mean, Bam Adebayo was in the COVID protocol for a week. And I think that was part of, that got caught when he was trying to get into Canada rather than leave Canada. So it's not a bad idea. I mean, the reality is the Panthers are pressed up right against the cap. Yeah, they've got $198K against the cap, so I don't even think they can call anyone up unless it's an emergency waiver situation, which I don't think they qualify for. But they have one, two.
Well, isn't Ekblad on LTIR?
Yeah. No, he might not be actually.
He is on LTIR.
Put him on LTIR.
No, he is on LTIR. Oh. Yeah, the issue. Remember, they also they took some salary in that Max Domi deal, which is $1.3 million, and then so they just don't have the space. But you've got 15 forwards on the roster, 8 defensemen. Lucas Carlson and Patera Lindholm should be playing it. Yeah, they should be playing in both of them. They should be your bottom pairing in that game, and that way you can get. Uyghur a day off, especially if Radko Gudas is injured. You get him, you need to give him off. But like Patera Lindholm, Lucas Carlson, you should be playing twice this week. Ryan Lomberg, Joe Thornton, Nola Chari, you guys should be playing both those games at the end of this week. Like,
well, I don't know about Thornton. He played the night, and Jumbo needs a little bit of rest. So maybe give him a day off.
Yeah, he'll get the rest from Friday to Monday or Friday to Tuesday.
Or Friday to the end of the season. Are you really going to play him in the playoffs if everyone's healthy?
Maybe. No,
that's true. You play him one game in the Cup final.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you could just add him to the Cup, but I was going to say I think that because Ekblad is on LTIR that they would be able to call people up. And the nice thing is that this is a week of the AHL season that's essentially just makeup games, and the Checkers don't have any. And I did want to mention also that the Checkers last week clinched the Atlantic Division title in the AHL, so they'll be going in as the AHL Atlantic champions top seed in the playoffs when those start. But yeah, the Checkers don't even have a game this week. They finished up their season on Saturday or Sunday, I can't remember, and then the playoffs start next week.
Yeah, I need to find myself for reading the internet wrong. I read the projected cap space from Cap Friendly and not the current cap space, which includes LTIR. Yeah, the Panthers are $4 million under the cap, so they could call 4 guys from the Checkers, and they absolutely should be doing that for
$2
one of those 2 games.
Great. So yeah,
I thought reading the internet wrong was $5.
Call up Cole Schwinn, call up Grigory Denisenko.
Denisenko's injured, but yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. Denisenko's injured. Yeah.
When did that happen? Whatever.
He's been out for a while.
Yeah, he's been out for a long time.
But yeah, Cole Schwinn, Max Gildon, everyone's
also injured.
Ghosted.
John Ludwig?
Also injured.
Still?
Yes. Believe me, I was there. I saw
Are
these
we
guys.
a curse?
I saw these guys.
Chase Prisky and Matt Kierstead, come on down.
Yeah, come on. Like
so far.
friends of the show. Like bring them in.
So far, yeah. So far, the players that we named that have been injured, minus Denisenko, have all appeared on our show in some way, shape, or form. Schwint, Gildon, and Ludwig, all PPP
Schwint
guests.
Schwint is healthy,
guests.
so
I think I should be worried now.
I was going to say, Roy, are you playing any beer league sports? Because you need to be worried about anything up on LTIR.
I think I have a hang now.
Oh gosh,
Not going to be able to edit Montgomery and Company.
No, I'm stuck.
No. So should we talk about what's going on the other end of the standings, at least in terms of the playoff teams, with the potential first round matchups?
Yeah,
I mean, you look at the Eastern Conference, like everybody has 100 points. That's never happened before.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
All right, so I actually do want to talk about that because there are two ways to look at that, and I am very solidly in the camp that I'm in about that. Is that parity, or is it a statement about how wide the gap between the haves and the have-nots has become?
Two. Definitely option
I agree with the latter. Yeah.
I mean, it's the same teams. It's legitimately the same teams from last year, except for the Islanders, I guess. So
yeah, the Islanders are out. The Rangers are in. So, that's like a 30-mile difference. So the map is pretty much the same.
Is it? Exactly. There's no way it's even 30 miles from Manhattan to Queens.
I think
they're on Long Island again. That's right.
They're in Belmont, which is Queens and Long Island. So you're right twice.
I like being right twice.
Yeah, I mean Queens is technically Long Island,
All right.
Yeah,
so I guess we're all pretty much in agreement then that it is option 2, that this is the opposite of parity.
Anyway,
but I've seen that narrative being thrown around a lot on Twitter today. That like, oh, look how competitive the Eastern Conference is. Look how even the conference is. All 8 teams in the playoffs have 100 points. Like, yeah, they had to destroy the other 8 teams to get there.
Anyway, so the situation that the Panthers are now in case you haven't read this yet, with today's results, it's down to 2. And we thought that it realistically was down to 2, and now there's 0% for anybody else. It's either going to be the Capitals or the Penguins. Coming into today, the projections I saw had tipped the Penguins pretty strongly. Them and the Capitals both end up losing in regulation. Both got kind of stomped, by the way. The Capitals lost 4-1 to the Islanders, aforementioned, and the Penguins lost 6-1 to the Edmonton Oilers. So neither of those teams, unless they win their last game 10-0 or something, are going to be coming into the playoffs on a high note. Yeah, I mean, Washington's been hot at the end of the regular season, but TJ Oshie got banged up a little bit. I think he left and then came back. Sometimes that's a legitimate injury. Like guys can come back into a game and then, comes out after the game. Oh, they actually tweak something. It's going to be a week. Ovechkin did not play. He may just be resting, like we're talking about that, wanting to have Barkov do. But what's your
Capitals say that the injury is not that serious.
Yeah, he is injured.
Grain of salt. He's injured, but they say it's not serious. I mean, what else are they gonna say?
And speaking of other injuries, Tristan Jarry is out right now. He's got like a foot fracture, I believe. So who knows what his status is going to be? I think is DeSmith healthy, Alex?
He is, but he's just not very good.
DeSmith, yeah, he's had a rough season. So, with all of this in mind, like how are we thinking about this? Is there a team that we prefer? Do we just want the chips to fall where they may? Alex, what do you have to say?
Well, real quick, just because we are talking about injuries, there's an update on Lundell and Kudus. Both were held out of the game simply out of precaution.
Yeah.
Team trying to be careful with the playoffs starting next week. So just like best case scenario is, hey, nicked up, no reason to come back in the game, no reason to be a hero. Game didn't matter.
I mean, at that point, do we even see Anton Lundell for the rest of the season?
I mean, if it's nothing, someone's got to play.
True.
But yeah,
Anton Lundell.
but back on topic. I mean, it's an interesting situation where both teams that you're looking to face in the playoffs have pretty significant injury issues, whether or not, Ovechkin is really just day to day and they're being precautionary. But either way, like the guy is nicked up. That is their best player. That is their entire franchise. And, Ovi being hurt in a series, that benefits whoever the opponent is. Tristan Jarry, who's had an outstanding season, him being out, and he's definitely out. Like he's got a broken bone in his foot. It would be shocking if he's able to play in the playoffs. Like him being out substantially weakens that team. So either way, the Panthers could be getting some fortunate injury luck with their opponent coming into the playoffs.
I gotta say that I would rather face the Capitals because
me too.
The opposite side in this situation is the Penguins, and if I'm not saying they will, but the hypothetical is if they end up losing with all the shit talk that I've had against Sidney Crosby in my entire career, I'm never gonna live that down.
Yeah,
I don't need that in my life.
Well,
yeah,
I'm hoping that it's the Capitals because I'm looking at going to games 3 and or 4. And it just seems like a more fun time to go to DC than Pittsburgh. Nothing against Pittsburgh. Also, the tickets are cheaper.
Right.
Yeah, my best friend's a diehard Penguins fan, and all night he's been texting me, "Oh, congrats on making it to the second round. You're gonna knock us out you're gonna give us another first round exit." And I'm just like, "Fuck you, Brad. Fuck you.
Don't jinx it."
Yeah, don't.
He's trying to reverse jinx it.
Yeah, you're not getting this reverse jinx on me. No one has suffered more than Panthers fans.
That's a good point, though. We're talking about two teams that in the last 3 seasons have won one playoff series combined. And that was the Penguins 3 years ago. I don't even remember. I think it was Columbus that they beat the year after they won back-to-back cups. Washington has lost 3 first-round series in a row. And
since winning the cup.
And they even lost in the play-in in the bubble to the Montreal Canadiens. So they aren't a team that's enjoyed a lot of hyper recent playoff success. Obviously, the 2 consecutive Stanley Cup championships are still, within the you can still kind of see them in the rearview mirror. But in the last 3 years, only one series that they've won.
I guess if you look at it that way, but like hyper recent is a very subjective time frame, and the 2 teams combined did win 3 cups in a row.
Yeah, but the last Eastern Conference champions, they're not even in the playoffs. So, that isn't always a benchmark.
The last Eastern Conference champions are guaranteed to pick top 4.
Well, not Eastern Conference champions because of the way last year worked. It was so strange, but you get what I mean. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. We're talking about the same team.
Yeah.
Sucks to suck Montreal / that whoever that random Twitter person in our mentions today. That was enjoyable.
Well, I did take a shot at them, but at the same time, like it was totally warranted. Like they had a terrible season. They suck.
I mean,
boy, it felt so good seeing them dead last.
It sure does.
Yeah, the hubris from that fan base and from the talking heads, like I will never forget at the beginning of the season. It was like Pierre LeBrun and like the entire TSN cast, and they were talking in the preseason how Montreal was a shoo-in for like second or third in the division, and I'm just sitting there like
my ass,
like what the and like they didn't even mention the Panthers in the Atlantic. Not a mention. Like they talked about Toronto, they talked about Montreal, they talked about Tampa and Boston. They didn't even mention the Panthers as a possible top 4 team.
Who would ever go into the preseason gassing up Montreal as a dark horse contender within the division? Like what smart person would ever have done that?
I think I did that. Well, not in the division. I remember being kind of high on Montreal last year, like not TJ, going into the playoffs.
Making fun of us.
No. This year, I tweeted out something along the lines of Montreal is more likely to finish 8th than top 3. And that, of course, happened.
You nailed it.
Going to finish 8th.
I honestly, though, I don't remember if it was before this season or last season.
Last season, Montreal could. There was a lot more buzz on Montreal before last season than before this season. We were all like, I don't know. They don't have to know. They don't have all these other guys,
Oh, you're right. Without the know, I never would have gassed them up. So it must have been last season, and I'm happy with myself again.
The Panthers have more wins than the Montreal Canadiens have points.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, they're bad. They're not good.
Good. It's beautiful. All right. So moving on, I think Roy, you mentioned that. I think we're all still in agreement that you'd rather have not Montreal than you'd rather have Washington than Pittsburgh. I mean, yes, one, for all the shit talking for me having to deal with my best friend. And two, I don't want to face Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin in a playoff series.
And Chris Letang. Don't forget, like Letang is still good too.
Well, I'll make Letang and Carlson a wash. Like, I just don't.
Do not do that. Letang is better.
Letang is better in my opinion.
Letang is
but like,
notably better.
I get it.
Okay.
Like, I think that the Capitals have a better defense top to bottom, but like, you know, I mean, it's just a better team in Pittsburgh. Now, that being said, the goaltending situation
I don't know if I agree
worse.
with that, TJ, because the Penguins have this kid that's like came out of nowhere and is having an insane season. Just like a really impactful season. Like, I don't know where he came from, but it's this guy, Mike Matheson.
Young buck, Mike Matheson.
No, seriously, Matheson's actually having a great year.
He's on such a good team-friendly contract, too.
I'm happy for Mike Matheson.
Mike Matheson is
I'm totally happy for Mike Matheson.
Yeah.
If we don't end up playing them, I'm rooting for the Penguins in round one for Mike Matheson. I hope he enjoys all the success. He seems like a nice guy. It's not his fault that, you know, Dale Talon's susceptible to paying his draft picks way too much for too long.
I've told this story before, but I feel like I want to tell it again just because we're talking about how good of a guy Mike Matheson is. I was with my sister and my brother-in-law at the time. He wasn't my brother-in-law yet, but that's besides the point. At a season ticket holder, like post-game signing event. This must be 2017. And we get to Mike Matheson, and my sister says to him, and at the time, like he was having a decent year. So my sister says to him, or he was supposed to, and then wasn't. My sister says to him, "I have you on my fantasy team." And Mike Matheson looks my sister dead in the eye and goes, "I'm so sorry."
That's great. I mean, I'll admit, you know, up until like 2 years before they finally got rid of him, I was on the Mike Matheson hype train.
Oh, me too.
And I would draft him in the last round of every fantasy league. This is going to be the year he becomes a 40-point guy, and it just never happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's inevitable. I feel like for fans of every team, like when the guy is a prospect or a young player, it's like this guy is going to be so amazing, and then like, unless they're Anton Lundell level, like, oh, holy shit, they are amazing. Like, if they have any growing pains at all, it's a busted flush. I mean, coming into the season,
Owen Tippett.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say, because I did a survey before the season of, you know, Panthers fans, like, how many points are we going to get? Who's going to lead the team in points, etc. And the breakout player of the year was Owen Tippett for pretty much everybody. Like, he was by far the most popular pick, and he's not even on the team anymore.
I mean, we all kind of thought that.
So they were right. He broke out of the team.
Yep.
Yeah, we definitely upgraded our ginger.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And the 5-forward power play is now known as the G unit.
You know what I would love to see? It's never going to happen. Maybe like one day. But with the depth that the Panthers have offensively, I would love to see 4 forward 5-on-5 units and 5 forward power plays.
Yeah, why not try some of those 5-on-5 units out, like late need to score situations?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I definitely think you could see it in the playoffs where, you know, they're desperate for a goal and they're going 4-1. They're going 4-1, or even, I don't know about 5-0, just because you're going to have Ekblad back, and
yeah,
he's one of your five best skaters.
Ekblad counts as a forward.
Yeah.
Ekblad's a forward who's just also very good at defense when you really break it down.
Yeah.
I also think that today's results means that we're not going to know who the opponent is until Friday, because the Penguins don't play until Friday.
I don't think that really I mean, it matters for us fans, but
it doesn't really matter in that.
The Panthers absolutely have a group of people advanced scouting the Penguins and a group of people advanced scouting Washington, like setting up game plans, setting up, you know, working over matchups and all of that stuff. Like, I'm sure if you looked at their press box, the press box attendance for both of those teams would be 2 or 3 people from the Panthers for each each team. So I don't think it matters. Like the only thing that matters too is us fans who want to talk about it. And obviously, we're going to want to try and get a guest from whoever the opponent is, but like that doesn't matter to the team.
Speaking of advanced scouting, I was in the press box the game before and against Toronto, and who was advanced scouting the Panthers? Joe Sakic.
Yeah, maybe he just wanted a free vacation in the sun, but I mean, check out who you could face in the Cup final. I mean, that's two of your possible opponents. That's that's some good work by Sakic.
Yep,
that's true. Well, it's true if we want to be realistic, but I prefer being funny to being realistic. So, no, he was really only looking at one potential Cup final opponent. Toronto does not count as a potential Cup final opponent. Look, Toronto's going to have to deal with either Tampa or Boston in round one.
Oh, I wish it was Boston. I hope it's Boston because that would be utterly hilarious. I hope it's Boston because also the other matchup will be Carolina and Tampa. So let them beat the shit out of each other for the first round. I want to see that.
Well, I think that Freddie Anderson's going to miss the first round and Ante Ransom might miss it too. So we might be looking at a Carolina team that's got a third string goalie in the playoffs.
Peter Kochetkov, I think, has been getting the net time for them lately.
Yeah, I mean, maybe one of them comes back, but like I think that the perception is in the circles around them that it's going to be Kochetkov game one, round one.
Yeah, I mean, right now, for that to happen, Tampa would have to lose their final two games, and Boston would have to win their final two. Tampa finishes with the Blue Jackets and the Islanders, both those games on the road.
God.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, but both of those teams would, they're actually.
So Toronto, Tampa, that's going to be like that. Both of those teams could be worn down by that. And then Boston, Carolina. I mean.
Yeah, let's consider the fact that Tampa has no home games in that series.
For Boston, Boston, Carolina.
And Boston finishes with the Sabres at home and on the road in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
That's a back-to-back. I feel like everyone's finishing their season with a back-to-back, a Thursday, Friday, back-to-back.
Yeah, but the strength for schedule in these games was not exactly high. They're playing.
No, I mean, even the Panthers, Montreal and Ottawa, like, come on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna jinx this team right now, but like even benching our top guys, we should pull 4 points out of the last two games. Like,
yeah.
And if we don't, who cares? I honestly wouldn't.
Right. Yeah, because it's not like like both of those teams are just playing for the golf course. It's not like they've got some prospects they brought up who they're giving a look to that are highly touted. Like at least Columbus, like they just brought in Kent Johnson from Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo's obviously got Owen Power. Like those teams, like they at least have young guys that they're giving plenty of ice time to that are
giving them some energy. Everybody
right, that give a shit.
Kent Johnson is also like the most Chell create a player default name I've ever heard from an actual NHL player.
Chell. Oh boy.
They call it Chell inside the game.
Uh-huh.
Roy does not play NHL 22. Apparently.
No, I do. That's why I'm laughing.
What's your loadout?
I'm not playing Chell. I'm playing Be a Pro.
I got you. Doesn't Be a Pro have a loadout?
No, it doesn't. No, I'm not playing online. I'm playing the privately over here with Be a Pro. Like, no, by myself. I don't need to play online.
Do you don't have like a player type like enforcer, defenseman, or two-way
I'm a power forward. Yeah, I'm a power forward.
That's the way to go.
Yeah,
is Be a Pro actually good yet?
No. In fact, NHL 22 is not a good game at all. Like,
oh no, I just got it. I got it like a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago or so at this point, because it was on sale. I was never going to.
Oh yeah, I always wait until it's on sale. I got it for like $28. Yeah.
No, I always get it when it comes out. $60.
$30
this
bucks
is
in
the
November.
First NHL game in probably 6 years that I didn't buy on release day.
Yeah, it's bad. Like the commentary is bad.
Yeah, commentary
the glitches on like there's on the score bug. It says offside. You're in your other zone over here.
Yeah.
Like
it doesn't go away. It's like
no, it doesn't go
anyway.
away.
This episode brought to you by EA Sports. No.
Apparently
it's in the game.
You pay us to remove criticism of your game. We will accept very, very little money to stop criticizing your game. I think the Frostbite engine has improved.
$15 so we can pay Roy to edit this episode. That's all we need.
And,
think
and
the
the interference penalties
Yeah.
that have been a bane of my existence for like prior games is back. Like you can't even like you push a player, it's interference. I'm like, what's going on here? Like
At least they fixed
the
the tripping. That used to be the
Yeah,
bane of my
I'm so
existence.
glad about that.
Poke check trip.
It was either 19 or 20. But in one of those two NHL games, I once had a player lose his stick and then in the same sequence get called for tripping. I watched the replay. He like did a poke check motion without a stick.
And the player fell.
The player that he was quote unquote poke checking did that little stumble, even though nothing actually hit his skates. And my stickless player got called for tripping.
I'm the master of poke checking in that game, man. I poke check you.
Oh,
that
it's so
puck
fun.
is gone.
So fun.
Yeah, I just can't break out into a breakaway. But you know,
I suck at breakaways. I can't score, but I also play as a defenseman online. So
yeah,
I have so many
forward, so I'm not fast.
there you go. Yeah.
I have so many questions. One, Roy, I assume your player's name is Roy Bellamy, or do you go with something creative?
It's Roy Bellamy for the hockey game. It's Jack Spade for Madden, whenever I get that. But it's Roy Bellamy for the hockey game.
2, what number do you wear?
11.
Oh, so you had to steal it from Huberto, or are you not on the Panthers?
No, I had to be drafted. I was drafted by Seattle, second round.
Ooh,
pick.
that's fun.
Second,
Could be their first retired number.
Yeah, that's true. Buffalo was the first overall pick, and I'm like, how the hell am I the second overall pick in this game? Like, what'd I do?
Oh, second overall. Okay.
Yeah, second overall. No, I was not a second round pick. No.
Nah.
What's the purpose of
I was
playing
going
the
to
game?
judge you so hard on that.
You clearly did not have a good OHL playoffs.
No, man, I was MVP. I was MVP.
So, follow-up question: what do you have set as your commentary name? Because I doubt they have Bellamy as an option.
They do have Bellamy as an option.
Really?
Yeah.
It's probably like a Bellamy in the elite.
Good
league,
for you.
or whatever the league is in Great Britain. I forget.
It's the first time, and I would think 5 or 6 years that they had a Bellamy in there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've never been able to have my actual last name said in.
I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah.
No, probably not.
Unless there's a like Sam out there that's going to break into the NHL.
No, see, I was going to say unless I play it like in German. If I play the game in German, because my last name is a German word.
What does it mean?
Probably better commentary.
It means slowly.
Probably.
Okay, so basically you're Jacob Despacito.
I'll kill you.
He's gonna reach through the Zoom window.
Okay. Now I've got 2 final questions for you, Roy. How many goals do you average a season?
I
ask?
think I scored 150 goals this season.
Jesus.
What difficulty do you play on?
Yeah, are you playing on?
I'm playing pro. This is pro.
If you're putting up 100 goals a season, you got to.
Yeah, you got to go to all pro. You got to bump that to all.
I think it's all star, just for the record.
I was going to say world class, and then I realized that's
FIFA,
FIFA.
Man. That's FIFA, man.
All
I play
right,
on legendary on FIFA, just for the record.
Final question, Roy. How much do I have?
Game difficulty doesn't count when you're simming.
Yeah,
Fair.
Roy, how much do I have to pay you to stream yourself playing Be a Pro on Twitch?
I don't have a camera, so.
But you can just
What is this right
automatically
here?
stream it.
That is my laptop. Like, I don't know. Like,
You can just sync a Twitch profile.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I'm not that entertaining. Like you're expecting me to talk while I'm playing. Like, no.
I disagree.
Concentrating.
There's a reason you're a friend of the show. We find you very entertaining.
Yeah, but again, you want me to talk while I'm playing, and that's not going to happen. I'm busy concentrating, trying to get these deflections out on goal here.
I want to hear you bitching at the EA refs, just like you bitch about the actual refs.
Oh yeah, I am. Again, the interference penalties are
the worst.
terrible.
Can't
They're
take
the worst.
it. Can't take it.
They're the worst. Like they're not even getting knocked down; they're getting shoved. Is an interference penalty. Terrible.
Jeez. It's amazing the hold EA has over us with Madden and NHL. It's like,
And FIFA.
They don't have any competition.
Well,
Yeah.
FIFA's at least a good game.
I like FIFA.
No, you know what? I don't like the Volta thing that they have now.
Oh,
they
yeah,
had
no, that's
a
dumb,
story
but I don't
mode.
play that.
They had a story mode that was pretty good. I like it.
I like that
enjoyed playing
actually.
it. And it's gone. It's gone in favor of this Volta shit, and I'm not feeling it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Team Alex Hunter, I enjoy doing that.
I really enjoy that you can create your own clubs again, though.
Yeah, me too.
That's a lot of fun. What I've been doing in FIFA 22 is creating a club, putting them in the like bottom tier league in England,
and getting promoted.
Yeah,
simming. Like I don't play a game.
He basically plays FIFA like it's Football Manager.
Develop youth talent. I don't
That's
even
not bad.
like make transfers. My team is entirely built by youth, by my youth academy.
Yeah, Jake,
you
you need
don't
to get
put it on
Football
auto.
Manager.
Football Manager is the move, Jacob. I got
put it
Fraser's
on, like,
Hockey
auto
Football
transfer.
Manager.
Time since I started playing
transfer.
FIFA this way. I also really enjoy that FIFA last year in 21 finally included the ability to change your academy players' positions.
Oh yeah, that's great. I really enjoy that.
That in FIFA like 16 when I was in college, I had this kid who was like designated as a fullback, but couldn't defend for shit. Was incredible. Like his stats were a winger, but his listed position was a fullback. And I would play him at wing.
Yeah.
And like, but his overall wouldn't increase because I was playing him out of position.
I'm not a big fan of
worst.
that. Like I was a striker when I was playing FIFA, and again, I'm over here scoring 80 goals a season and whatnot. And then in some games they had me listed over there on the wing. I'm over here playing out of position. Like, hey man, I'm a striker. I'm in the box. All right. And that's the other gripe I have with NHL, the NHL series. Like I'm a center, right? They got me over here playing the wing at the beginning of my career. I'm not a winger. I'm over here again playing out of position because I'm used to being in front of the net. I'm used to being in front of the net defensively as well. I'm not going out towards the wing, towards the blue line. I'm sorry. Like I'm right here in the middle. Thank you. That's how I get Selkie trophies.
Yeah. No wingers won a Selkie trophy and what? They don't give it to Mark. They're not going to give it to Mark Stone. They're never giving it to any wing. It's not happening.
Nope.
Yeah, I know this
Jacob
is not
Silverberg like almost won a Selkie a few years ago.
I know this is not a visual medium, but guys, Roy is legitimately upset about this. Like his face is contorted. He is.
Yeah, it makes me so angry, man. Like, come on, you don't have any competition. You know,
it's
like you don't have
disrespectful to
2K. Oh, what?
It's disrespectful to put you on the wing. I understand.
Yeah, especially in Seattle, they don't have a single good center.
Yeah, I mean,
Not
except
a
for Matty.
single one, Jacob.
I mean, in this scenario,
I don't know why you're targeting me. Jared McCann is not just my guy. He's the official non-Panther of our podcast.
We both like
They
him.
only put me at center because I was a rookie. I mean, that's it. Like it's not like I was in my third year or anything, but they did eventually put me in there after like the All-Star game.
Another mistake by Dave
started
Hackstall
last year.
Another mistake by Dave Hackstall.
Yeah.
Anthony Cirelli finished 4th in Selkie voting in 2020.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
That's insane. So before we move on to the next question, I do want to interject. Wingers have won the Selkie before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times.
Yeah, if you're counting by ones on that one, then you know there's not a lot.
Yeah, not that many because the NHL's been around.
Bob Gainey, 4 years in a row.
And TJ, I know you want to jump in, but I just do want to credit
Craig
the person.
Ramsey. He was on the Miracle team.
Oh,
Dirk Graham in 90-91.
Dirk Graham. Yeah.
Sergei Fedorov,
Of course.
95-96. Yuri Lettinen, 97, 98.
When was the last one,
98,
Jacob?
99.
That's the relevant thing here, I think.
The last one was Yuri Lettinen in 2002, 2003.
So it's been
Dirk Graham.
20
It
years.
has been
basically.
19 years since a winger won the Selkie.
I believe I have this factoid right, but Dirk Graham, I believe, was not only the first black captain in NHL history, but also the first black head coach, I believe. Yeah.
I'll look that up later. One last thing that I wanted to point out before we sign off here, and it's really just like another thing for the fans. I looked up the arena schedules for Washington and Pittsburgh. a couple of weeks ago, maybe a week ago. And there's an event in Washington on Monday night, a Journey concert. And Sunday night in Pittsburgh, they got like the Olympic figure skaters or whatever. So that leads me to believe, long story short, that if it's Washington, game 1 will be on Monday the 2nd, and if it's Pittsburgh, Tuesday the 3rd. That's just a guess, but
Wait. What are the dates again? Like,
so because of the arena conflicts that they'd be running into if they were to do games every other day, which I think they will.
At Florida Live Arena.
No, at the Washington or Pittsburgh arena. So if it's Pittsburgh, they would want to do Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, because Sunday they have this figure skating event. And if it's Washington, they would want to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, because they got this concert the next Monday.
And that's 2 weeks. That's 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
I thought you were saying that like the Monday that the playoffs allegedly start is when Washington has a thing going on at their arena.
No.
And I'm sitting here like, why does that matter?
Playing game 1 and 2 at home.
Florida.
Yeah.
No, TJ, I actually did follow you, TJ. What TJ was saying.
I had to slide down on that one. I had to make sure.
No. Like I got to be clear to 100% of the people. So I'm glad you.
He was projecting games 3 and 4 would be, and basing it off of those conflicts. So hopefully, for my sake, it's Pittsburgh, so we can get Tuesday start, because I need that. Going to visit the Mouse this weekend, driving home Monday. So crossing
the fingers. But we'll all be at game 1 regardless.
Yeah.
I'll just be in a higher section to you guys because I'll be in the press box.
One more thing that we should probably mention is in Sports Business Journal, they wrote that the Panthers media rights just got renegotiated with Bally Sports Florida, and they're set to see their windfall more than double. Apparently, they were only getting $6 million a season from Bally to broadcast all 82 games, which is one of the lowest in the 4 major sports, maybe even like in the bottom 5. And it's set to raise to the high teens. So good work by the team to get that number way up. That's definitely going to help in years to come.
More than the Marlins.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Marlins. I mean, the second game of the year, they got less fans at an MLB game than your average Panthers game, that's bad. Like, NHL teams should not be outdrawing MLB teams.
Well, I think you saw a shift for the first time tonight, because the first few times there were a conflict between Heat, Marlins, Panthers, it was the Panthers that got dropped to the alternate channel. Tonight it was the Marlins.
That's surprising, because there's like contract issues with that too.
Yeah, but I think it's the first time ever that the Marlins were the team dropped to the alternate standard definition channel on Xfinity. I mean, it doesn't matter for DirecTV and Dish, because they have high definition alternate channels. Xfinity only has the standard.
And all the people that only do the streaming. Shout out streamers.
Right. Yeah, streamers always get HD. But yeah, I think we covered pretty much all of the rookie questions. If you want to keep sending them to us because you have something else come up, we're happy to answer them. We're hoping that, new people are coming into the sport and finding this podcast so we can help grow the game. As this shootout goes into round 6 with still no one scoring. But this was a fun episode. Roy, you have been way more than generous with your time. We look forward to having you on again later in the playoffs so you can tell us how Roy Bellamy on the Seattle Kraken has scored another 30 goals in 5 games because you're playing on pro difficulty.
Hey, listen, I'm trying to win.
I think you're succeeding based on those numbers.
Is your team 82-0?
No, I believe we were 70-something 2-5.
Oh, that's absurd. But yeah, Roy, not that you really need to plug yourself because everyone knows where to find you, but please plug yourself anyway. Anything you've got upcoming that you want everyone to take a look at?
All right, I guess I give the entire bio. I'm a senior producer at Meadowlark Media. I produce the Dan Le Batard show with StuGotz. I executive produce Montgomery and Company. Coming up on Montgomery and Company this week is Adewale Agunlie and John Butchergrass.
Oh, Bushi.
Yeah, and I also segment produce Because Miami with Billy Corbin. That's on the big show. This week on Because Miami, we have Nikki Fried.
That should be interesting. She is running for governor. She also recently posted a picture of herself on a plane without a mask, which caused some controversy. But yeah, those are some really good gets. I mean, you've got Prince, Adewale Agunle, you got Royalty.
Vegas is dead.
Yes, as Vegas dies, but you got Royalty on the show.
Vegas has missed the playoffs for the first time in franchise history.
It's not official yet. They picked up the point.
But yeah, you got.
I thought a Dallas win in any fashion ended Vegas' season.
Nope, regulation only.
There's no tiebreaker.
Let's land the plane, Jacob. Let's land the plane.
Anyway, rate us 5 stars on the Nintendo eShop.
We already done that. Stop.
Damn it.
Colorado is leading, I believe.
Yeah, they're up 3-1.
So the Panthers they're still up by 2 points with 2 games to play. They still just need to make their magic number is still 1. They just need to get 1 more point than Colorado does to finish the season to clinch the President's Trophy.
And they're playing Ottawa, so that should be probably a done deal.
Well, no, because Colorado has the tiebreaker. So if both teams win their last 2 games, Colorado would get.
Florida's still ahead. Florida's still 2 points ahead.
2 points ahead. They got the one.
You're right. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Panthers can clinch with 3 points in their last 4 games. Then do I have that right?
Yeah. People will tell me if it matters, because I'm just going to assume it doesn't. Yeah. Anyway, rate us 5 stars on Elon Musk's Twitter. 5 stars equals 5 free speech points.
Check out Montgomery and Company. That sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun with that podcast.
You guys are going to start talking Panthers more on the local hour with the playoffs coming up, I'm sure. So everybody check out the main show. You're probably like, oh, those guys don't talk about the Panthers. They only talk about, the NFL and stuff. But no, they talk about the Panthers.
They talk about the Panthers more than anyone else in this market. Like Joe Rose doesn't do it. Hockman does it a little bit. Alex Dono used to, but he's no longer on any of the major
Krantz
stations.
does a little bit, I think.
Hockman and Crowder they sometimes do remotes from the arena.
But they never really
talk about the Panthers.
Yeah, but most of the time they're just talking about drinking while they're doing the remotes from the arena.
Because the team was never interesting like this.
Yes. But I'm just saying, in terms of actual hockey conversation, the local hour on the Le Batard show, they do the most. And yeah, we really got to land this plane as everyone. I'm getting a rap signal and the land plane signal from.
I'm just sick of looking at your faces. It's really grating.
Hey, man, black don't crack.
Nah, this face is cracking. I got gray everywhere in the field. Thanks for listening.
Not you,
everybody.
Roy. Not you. The rest of these guys, though.
Thank you.
Please moisturize. Exfoliate.
Yes.
What else?
Yeah, but that's it. We will be back.
Hydrate.
We're gonna have a bunch of content for you during the playoffs. Roy, we'd love to have you on again. Hopefully you got some time available for us. I think Roy's
not going to accept that invite based on how this has gone.
I mean, if I'm at the game, then I won't be. Okay, good night.
There it is. Good night. Good night, everybody.
Oh, you guys are boring.